I'm a short person. My height is 5 foot 4 inches. 1 month ago, I sold my Yamaha V-Star XVS 950A cruiser motorcycle and I traded it in for a Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro 2023 year model. The V-Star 950 has a seat height of 675mm, so for a short person like me, it was very easy to ride. The Tiger 900 GT Pro is a different story. It has an adjustable seat of 810mm to 830mm, so that is a big increase in seat height for me. Join me in this video as I show you how I solved that problem so that I can ride the Tiger 900 GT Pro confidently. If you are also looking to buy a bike that is a little bit tall for you or you already have such a bike, then join me in this video as I show you how I solved that problem. My height is 5 foot 4 inches short. I have a leg inseam of 28 inches, again short. The first thing I did was I changed my motorcycle riding boots. This is the Alpinestars Stella Gran Torino Gore-Tex riding boots that I bought years ago when I bought the V-Star 950A Cruiser. It has served me well, but I knew that I could not ride the Tiger 900 GT Pro wearing these boots. So I then bought the Daytona Max Sports GTX boots. The Alpinestars boot is made in Croatia and the Daytona boots are made in Germany. I have set up a little experiment to demonstrate clearly how much lift these two boots provide. I have here a PVC conduit. I have marked a red line on the side of the conduit. If I use a measuring tape to measure the top of the line, the top of the red line says 310mm approximately. I'll now insert the PVC conduit into the Alpinestars riding boot, making sure that the bottom of the conduit touches the insole base. I will zip the boot back up so that the conduit is held in place. Next, I have here a bubble level. I will hold this level against the top of the red line as steady as I can and keep the bubble in the center. And the reading is 343mm. Now remove the PVC conduit and insert the conduit into the Daytona Max Sports GTX boots. Zip it up. Make sure that the PVC conduit is about as vertical as possible. Take the bubble level and center the bubble and then measure the height to the top of the level. It says 375mm. So the height of this red line from the base is 310mm. With the PVC conduit in the Alpinestars boot, the red line has a height of 343mm. This means that the Alpinestars boot at the heel gives the rider 33mm lift. Now with the PVC conduit in the Daytona Max Sports GTX boots, the red line has a height of 375mm. This means it gives the rider about 65mm lift. If you look at that, that's 65mm lift. So the base of my foot would be in here. Now the front of the Daytona Max Sports GTX boots also has a lift, but it certainly is much less than 65mm. What it is, I can't tell, but you can tell that it is significantly taller than the Alpinestars. When I wear these boots, I still have to tiptoe on the motorcycle, or I can lean to one side and flat foot quite comfortably. So these boots give me the confidence to ride the Tiger 900 GT Pro. This boot is handmade in the German factory. To wear it, there is a zip on the left and there is a zip on the right. And the tongue will open up, and with that there's a pocket where you slip the foot in, and I suspect that this and that side are Gore-Tex. So this provides waterproofing to the foot. Because there's two zips, I find that it's much better for slipping the foot in there as well as preventing the zips from unzipping themselves. Furthermore, even though it has a 6cm lift, it is not obvious when looking at the boot. It is definitely a very high quality boot. Besides this model, Daytona also makes several other boots with raised heels. There is the M-Star GTX for men. For the ladies, there is the Lady Star GTX, the Lady Evoque GTX, the Lady Pilot GTX, and also the Lady SL Pilot GTX. So if you're a short person like me and want to ride a taller bike, then I suggest you have a look at the Daytona boots. They are not cheap, but they are very high quality boots and they solve the height problem for me. 1 month ago, I traded in my Yamaha V-Star XVS 950A Cruiser for a Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro 2023 model. The Yamaha Cruiser has a seat height of 675mm, so it's low and comfortable for a short person like me. When I changed to the Tiger 900 GT Pro, I had a problem because the seat height on the Tiger 900 GT Pro is adjustable from 810mm to 830mm. So there is a big height increase for a short person like me. So my height is 5 foot 4 inches and my trouser inseam is 28 inches. I had a problem. To enable me to ride the Tiger 900, I changed my riding boots from the Alpinestars Stella Gran Torino Gore-Tex boots to the German-made Daytona Max Sports GTX. Those boots give me a lift of about 60 to 65mm, and that's a big lift. Just with those boots alone, I can tiptoe on the Tiger 900 or I can fully flat foot on one leg. To help solve the height problem, I changed the riding seat on the Tiger 900. This is the standard Tiger 900 GT Pro seat with a height of 810 to 830mm. This is the optional accessory. It lowers the height by 20mm. This is the standard rider seat on the Tiger 900 GT Pro. The rider seat comes equipped with heating elements, and this is the connector to power the heated seat. This is the optional accessory Low Rider Comfort Seat. The product code for this is A2313313. I believe this model of the seat is only a few months old, and so some countries may just be receiving stock of this new version of the Low Rider seat. If you're looking to buy the Low Rider Comfort Seat, be careful because there's a recently discontinued version. The product number is A2308983. The Triumph website does not provide any explanation what the difference is between the discontinued version versus this new version of the Low Rider Comfort Seat. Just from an aesthetic looks point of view, the Low Rider Comfort Seat looks nicer with the stitching. One disadvantage of the Low Rider seat is that it has no heating element, hence there is no power cord to connect. Flip this around. So the steel rod in that position gives the lowest riding height for that seat. To get a 20mm increase in height, lift the bar out and then push the bar into the next position, and in this position it increases the seat height by 20mm. Similarly, on the rear of the seat, there's a bar as well. You have to make the same adjustments. Lift it out, pull it back and put it into the second position, and that will raise the seat at the rear by 20mm. Looking at the standard seat and the Low Rider seat, the pattern looks identical. So the Low Rider seat has the same adjustment. It also has the 20mm adjustment by changing the bar from this position to the next position. With the bar in this position, so this means that the lowest seat height on the Low Rider seat is 790mm. If I change the bar to the second position and similarly change the bar on the back, this would raise this seat by 20mm, which means the seat height is now 810mm. So the Low Rider highest seat height is 810mm, which is the same as the lowest seat height on the standard seat. I will now demonstrate approximately the height difference between the standard seat and the Low Rider seat. To do that, I will need some bubble levels. So I'll put the long bubble level on the standard seat. So I've adjusted the bubble level so that it is approximately where a rider would sit and the bubble is in the center. Now I'll take this shorter bubble level. Now I can see from the inside the bubble is centered on the short level and the bubble is centered on the long level. I will use a piece of paper. Without pushing down, I'll roughly mark where the bottom of that level is. It's about there. And now if I measure the marking on that paper, it is about 25 millimeters. Now this is only rough, but it gives a visual demonstration. The manufacturer says this reduces seat height by 20 millimeters from the standard seat. And we've demonstrated that it's approximately that. This is my Tiger 900 GT Pro 2023 year model. That is the standard factory supplied seat, which has adjustable height of 810mm to 830mm. I will now demonstrate how much I tiptoe when I wear the Alpinestars Stella Gran Torino Gore-Tex boots, which are my old boots, versus wearing the new Daytona Max Sports GTX boots, which gives me a 6cm lift. I will be straddling the motorcycle with both feet to see how much I tiptoe in the boots. This is me wearing my Alpinestars Stella Gran Torino Gore-Tex boots. I'm sitting center over the bike seat, straddling the bike. Even when I flex my feet downwards completely, I cannot touch the ground. Now I'm supporting vertically by using my right hand to push against the garden shed wall on the right hand side. That's how I'm keeping the bike standing upright. Otherwise, I will fall over. I will now put on my Daytona Max Sports GTX boots. Now wearing my Daytona Max Sports GTX boots, I can only just tiptoe with both feet on the ground, but this is definitely better than my Alpinestars boots. The front part of the boots also have a lift to enable me to be able to tiptoe. Now if I just lean over to the side a little bit, I can flat foot. So the Daytona Max Sports boots have helped me significantly. I will now change over the standard seat to the low rider height seat. Here we are, it's in. Note that the low height seat has no heating element. There, that's now installed. So I'm now straddling the motorcycle with my Daytona Max Sports GTX boots, sitting on the low height seat at its lower setting, giving me a height of 790mm. And you can see I have more boots on the ground, gives me a lot more confidence. So to summarize, the most important change was for me to buy this Daytona Max Sports GTX boots, which give me a 6cm lift. And secondly, to change the standard factory seat to a low height seat, which gives me another 20mm height reduction. So let me summarize. I would have never thought that I could ride an adventure bike where with normal boots I cannot have both feet touching the ground. Having owned this bike for 1 month and ridden it for a few hundred kilometers, this is a great bike. It is certainly a lot more enjoyable to ride and a lot safer to ride than my Yamaha V-Star XVS 950A Cruiser, which was a lot heavier than this and did not have electronic systems like ABS or traction control to assist with safety. This Tiger 900 GT Pro is a fantastic bike to ride. I thoroughly enjoy it, and with cornering, ABS and traction control, it certainly helps me a lot because I'm not a great rider, but I still enjoy riding. So whatever your height is, if you would like to ride a bike that's a bit too tall for you, then consider getting boots which give you a height lift, such as the German Daytona boots. They make lifted boots for men and women. And also get a seat height reduction. If the manufacturer has a lower seat height, consider getting that. And if not, you may want to take the seat to someone who can customize it and reduce the seat height professionally. I know there are accessories such as getting links that shorten the height, but there are problems with that. For instance, the side stand may need to be shortened as well, and the center stand, if it has one, may not be usable, or it may have to be cut and shortened as well. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more and help the channel grow. Thank you so much.